everybody. Hello. Thank you so much for being here today. Welcome to today's Daily Antidote of Song. Very glad to see folks jumping into the room to be in this space, building community and singing during what we all know are challenging times right now in the world. And we're glad that you guys come to us and to this space day after day to be part of what is, we hope, helping to make it all work out there in the world, at least in some ways. So let's say hello to everybody out there on the live stream. Hello to the folks out there on Facebook, and hello to all of the folks on YouTube who have decided to join us here in today's Daily Antidote Song. We are very glad you're with us. For anybody who's new to us today, we are one song every day at noon Eastern. We come into this space, we sing together, we have some discussion, and we're here every single day. And in fact, today is day 1,767 consecutive days of singing in this space. Yeah, and we continue to have folks joining us from all around the globe, our song leaders, our hosts, and our attendees. We're glad that you have chosen to sing with us today. Welcome to today's Daily Antidote Song. Very excited to have in the room with us today, Elena La Fulana, coming in from the DC, from DC actually. And Elena hasn't been with us for quite a while because she stopped music for a little moment to have a baby, or at least stopped publicly musicking. I bet she was doing a lot of music behind the scenes. So we're super glad to have her back with us today. Let's say hello to everybody in the room, and then we're going to switch over to singing with Elena. Can't wait. Hi to Ariana coming in from LA, who's running our tech today. Hi to Delhi in Maryland. Loriana Kachina and Courtney coming in from Vermont. Hi to Nan in Michigan, Sydney in San Francisco. Hi to Trish in Victoria, Pauline in Newcastle, UK, Linda on Orcas Island, Terry in DC, glad to have you with us today. Arlene in Berkeley, California, Cricket in Maryland, Athena coming in from Brooklyn, also reminding me that it is day 1,767. Thank you, Athena. Bob coming in from Albany, Susan in Cincinnati, Ohio, Sarah in Santa Cruz, California, Jamie in Victoria, Jonathan in Rhode Island, Luda also coming in from Victoria, Caroline in DC, Sue in Seattle, Sarah in Texas, Kathy in California, Marion in Brighton, UK, Ellie also coming in from the UK, nice to see you, Lynn and Cliff coming in from Vermont, or at least the Lynn half at the moment, Kathleen in Albuquerque, New Mexico, Fred in Maryland, Ruth coming in from Birmingham, UK, Storm coming in from Massachusetts, we've got Kathy in Colorado. There's Clive coming in from Birmingham, UK. Anne in Silver Spring. I see Karen in Iowa. Nice to see you today. Laris coming in from the UK in her car. Great to see you, Laris. Aloysius coming in from Massachusetts, also in a car. Everybody, please be careful driving. Kay in Texas. Jenny in Suffolk, UK. Elizabeth in California. Linda, I think that's California. Gloriana Kachina and Courtney in Vermont. Maggie in California. Curly Tops in Vermont. Carol in Connecticut. And Nancy coming in from Washington State. And I'm not sure, but we might still have, we've got Shruti coming in from India, popping in the room to be with us today. Shruti, thanks so much for joining us. Shruti is one of our regular song leader and hosts and comes in and sings with us all the time in here. Let's all take a deep breath. So as you may have seen from our banner, when we opened the door, we are singing this week in a week that we're calling Justice and Love Week. It seems like a very good time in the world to be thinking about both of those things and simultaneously because they're so interrelated, and it's so clear that that issues pertaining to both are surrounding us at all times right now. And so I'm super excited to have Elena La Fulana in the room with us. As I mentioned, she's from DC. She is a band leader. She has sung with us many times in the first years pre-baby. So we're excited to hear little updates about Elena La Mama. And say that she is a bilingual Latin folk artist. She's from Nicaragua originally. And she's a singer, songwriter, activist, and as I said, band leader. Elena, we've missed you. We're glad you're back. Welcome back to the Daily Antidote.
Thank you. Today we're going to sing a song called Pueblo Migrante, which I wrote for the immigrant community, which is obviously very relevant, unfortunately, with so many things happening. So this is the part we're going to sing together. It goes, I don't know if they have it in the chat, but it'll be the Empodérate, which is the empower. So Empodérate, Infórmate, Juntos Lucharemos, nos cuidaremos mutuamente, pueblo migrante. Let's try it one more time from Empodérate. Empodérate, infórmate, juntos lucharemos, nos cuidaremos mutuamente, pueblo migrante. So what we're saying is empower yourself, inform yourself. Together we will struggle, we will take care of each other. Pueblo Migrante, migrant town, or migrant community, if you will. So, are we ready to go? Should I do it again, or are we ready to go? All right, here goes. Yo soy del pueblo, pueblo migrante, gente luchadora, comunidad triunfante. Yo te protejo y tú me ayudas a mí. Aquí con tu radio, Carecen DC. Here goes. Empodérate, infórmate, juntos lucharemos, nos cuidaremos mutuamente, pueblo migrante. Again. Empodérate, empodérate hoy, infórmate, infórmate ya, juntos lucharemos, nos cuidaremos mutuamente, pueblo migrante. Just the second part. Nos cuidaremos mutuamente, mi pueblo migrante. Nice job, everybody.
Beautiful. Thank you, Elena. So glad you picked that song. Love that song. And I definitely want to just shout out that that one is available on Bandcamp. So you can go there and actually support Elena by purchasing that song and or all of her albums. Elena, since you mentioned that you chose it because of what's going on in the world right now, can you talk for a bit about that song, the meaningfulness to you when you wrote it and how you're feeling now?
Sure. I mean, the song is it's a collaboration. So in the body of the song it says here with Radio Carecen DC, and I was approached by the Central American Resource Center here in DC to help them write a theme song for their podcast. And so that's what this ended up being, and the podcast is all about basically explaining immigrants what's going on, what their rights are, and things like that. I previously worked on immigration issues and did a lot of Know Your Rights events and seminars to inform the community about their rights. And so that's kind of where this song is inspired from. And it's incredibly relevant right now, obviously, because there's so much going on in terms of we don't know where the enforcement of this administration is going to happen. And so it's important for everybody to know your rights. And also for those of us who are fortunate enough to have our documentation to do our part to be allies. So filming police, ICE if they come to do enforcement actions, and also, trying to waste their time with you so that they do not go after our brothers and sisters that are not as fortunate as us. But yeah, in case people don't know, if you're not required to talk to ICE unless they have a warrant signed by a judge, and you are not required to open the door unless they have a warrant. And so these are the things that we need to kind of tell, spread the word about, so that people are protected. People are not required to talk to them, answer any questions. You can ask for your lawyer, you can defer, you can call an immigrant advocacy organization, but you do not have to give them information or papers unless they have a warrant signed by a judge. So that's kind of the spirit of the song. And I wrote it in that time, in 2020, kind of during the pandemic. But obviously, it's something that's still very relevant to what's happening today. And it's unfortunate. People are really freaked out in the immigrant community. I can tell you that from people that I personally know that are not going out. They're not taking public transportation. They're trying as little as they can to be outside. They're just going straight to work and straight back home, closing their shades, not opening the doors to anybody. It's really, really a dark, dark time. And that's only one of the many things that's happening right now. So.
Yeah, thank you so much, Elena. I think it's a really amazing, it's like the practicality of what you're talking about in that song, as well as, of course, tying it into the emotional aspect of as the bishop said in her sermon on the day that she had a lot of important folks in the audience, people are scared right now. And that should tap into every piece of our humanity in terms of figuring out ways to move through the world in a way that we're not creating fear amongst the people who are our neighbors and our neighbors and our friends, or our strangers in our midst in any
Right.
way. It's addressed how we are supposed to care for humans in the world. And
right. Yeah, and the other thing I wanted to highlight in the song is how, like, I called it Pueblo Migrante because I wanted to show that, like, as a community, like, immigrants really do support each other. I mean, some people make the trek, like, and they cross the Darien Gap together, and they, like, almost die together. I mean, they go through so much to get through the U.S. I was volunteering with some of the people that were getting bused to DC, and talking to them about their experience. And I would be like, "Oh, are you guys a family?" And they'd be like, "No, we're not related, but we are family now because we've been through so much together." So then once they cross together, they also find housing together, and they look after each other. And that's something that has always been kind of consistent in the immigrant and like the communities of people that have been marginalized, is like, it's like not just, the negative side is that you get shut out of things, but the positive side is that people really rely on each other. They stick together and they really form community to, make a better lives for themselves and for the people around them. And so I wanted to focus on how we can, protect each other. We care for each other. We create community and response to things as much as we can within what the injustices are that we're living within. So that's what I wanted to focus on in the song. And that's why I wanted it to be about empowerment and getting informed, and really standing together in the face of such hardship,
Beautiful. Thank you, Elena. And I thought you earlier mentioned, that all of us who are potentially with all of the correct papers or without the issue of not having that standing, that we are in a position of being able to also aid. So from inside of the immigrant community and from outside, there is so much that people can be doing. And it's beautiful to think of that bond of a community of immigrants building together. But in a way, I'm also thinking like that's exactly how all of us should be feeling as being part of that community and being out there pulling. I saw different things in the news about people who are standing up or offering their homes or opening up spaces, and that they're also being outcast by folks who see it otherwise, and that we have to do everything we can. I mean, that's, again, it's why
yeah, it's pretty scary, but it's if we don't stand up, like, they'll come for all of us. It's just it's the beginning of some pretty dark things that we need to try to stop at the very front end. So
Yep.
I don't want to be too morbid, but like, I mean, it's a hard time. So some people think, oh, I'm not an immigrant, so it doesn't apply to me. That saying, they didn't come, first they came for, the Jews, then they came. But, this affects all of us when people are treated this way in our communities, in our midst. These are people that are, you know, viable people in our community who contribute to our lives, who work jobs, who go to our churches, you know, who worship with us, who have kids in their schools with our kids. And so this is all interwoven. They want to think that we are separate, but we are not. We're all connected. And so what happens to the least of us affects us.
Thank you, Elena. So much good thought, wisdom, and necessary discussion like we're having right now. So I'm really, really grateful. Speaking of being politically active and thoughtful in the world, I think maybe possibly you actually might have gone on a little stroll yesterday.
Yes.
Want to let us know about it and who you might have had with you?
Oh yeah. Well, I just went down to the Treasury Department to, you know, just to be another couple bodies in the sea there. I took my daughter with me. It was a little bit chilly. Not sure it was the right parenting decision, but people kept on coming and being like, "Is there a baby in there?" I'm like, "Yes." This is like first protest. It was the first of many. I think we'll be out here a lot. So yeah, just to, you know, protest the takeover of our private information and of, you know, the danger of people who don't even have security clearances having access to all of our personal information. I have worked in the very, very lowest levels of the federal government. I mean, the lowest tier. And we had to do all this training to deal with personal information. Like if you had access to any kind of birth dates or any kind of anything personally identifiable. And these people are not trained or authorized to do that. And they have access to all of the things. They have access to our bank accounts and social security numbers. And Elon Musk is a known doxer. So this is very, very scary. So anyway, I went out there and, you know, we did our part, and try, you know, we're going to be out there all the time. I think it's the least we can do. Hopefully this gets stopped in the court somehow, but I don't know. It's pretty rough.
It's pretty rough. It's inspiring to know that you were out there yesterday walking around with the baby. I know one of our artists actually got in touch with me. She was flying from somewheresville back home and had a layover in DC and actually changed her next flight so that she could take her layover to go down to the Treasury. So can we please shout out Morris Smiley for that amazingness? And so many other folks that I know in the DC area who were down there. I would have been down there too if I had been home. And I think, Elena, I'll be seeing you at all kinds of protests and marches in the upcoming months down there in the city where so much happens.
Yeah, and I encourage people, I mean, stuff is happening in DC obviously all the time, but there are also things happening across the country. So I encourage you all to plug in if you are able to attend those kinds of events or support those local organizations that are putting these things together. Even if you can't go, you know, if you can give rides or if you can contribute monetarily to some of these organizations, it's really, really important that we stay engaged. There are so many issues, and the point, as you all know, is to kind of overwhelm us and to think that we can't do anything, but we can, and we need to stay on top of that and make sure that we are trying our best to respond, try our best to like also do self-care and make sure that you are not, I turn off the radio all the time because I'm like, you know what, I can't do some of this right now, but I will, you know, don't unplug forever, just unplug to recharge, and then, you know, do your part when you can, because it's going to be a long 4 years, hopefully less, but and hopefully not more. God.
Not more. Thank you, Elena. All very beautiful stuff. And you know, I do want to say to everybody, both inside of this Zoom room here and all the folks out there on Facebook and on YouTube, that the staff of the Daily Antidote of Song, and of course the staff of Carpe Diem Arts, we're talking about this pretty constantly about like what our platforms are and how we can use them, but also what we can do to engage our community, the folks who show up and appear at our events and are part of our circle. What can we do more directly, more hands-on? So we will be talking about stuff. We're coming up with ideas of stuff that we, all of us right here now in this space, and you folks out there on Facebook and YouTube, can do to join us here to be making whatever the kinds of noise are we can make either from the chair we're in or from the community in which we reside. So,
Yeah.
thank you. Yeah.
Your
Yeah.
members of Congress should know you, and you should call them all the time.
Yeah.
We don't have voting representation in DC. So I encourage you all that if you do, please let them know. Even if you think that they're on your side, like, it's important to push them. And even if you know that they're not on your side, it's important to push them. Like, every call gets logged. Everybody that calls, it's important. And if they know your name, like, that's even better, and if you have more issues to call, then call again. Oh, I'm calling this time about this issue. There's a lot of stuff going on. We need to make sure that we're holding Congress's feet to the fire. They're the kind of what we have to, to push back here. We can't just let this stuff happen without letting our disgust or unhappiness be known.
Yep.
We all have power, and we can't let them think that we don't. So.
Yep, that's beautiful, Elena. I will also say, in the same way that we come into this room to recharge, somebody pointed out yesterday that we can be calling our congressmen, even if they are, in fact, doing all of the things that we want, we can be calling them and thanking them for a particular thing that they stood up for, because that's their recharge. So we've got some of us, who live in Maryland. Let's say we've got some folks out there who are doing some incredible slogging, and how about letting them know that we are right here on their side, and because it can be support when they start to feel encroached on.
That's right.
Nervous. So Elena, let's change topics just for a little teeny weeny moment and talk about something lovely before we sing with you again. Tell us just a little bit about being a new mommy and about your baby girl.
Yeah, my baby girl's name is Ophelia. She is 6.5 months old now. She's born in July, yes, and she's my first child. It's been great in a lot of ways, challenging in others. I think the hardest thing for me has been like redefining who I am as a person. I've been just like such a independent human for 40 years of my life. So making that switch to really being humbled to her. We call her the Empress because she runs our lives now. But like, it's been really cool also to like get to know her and to see her develop, and just become a human, which is it's so crazy that we can do this. I don't know how. We should need to take tests, but we don't. So that's been really nice, and also to grow with my partner as well. And so I don't know. It's really special. It's really unique. I'm glad I did it one time. I think people that do it more than one time are crazy, but that's just my opinion.
Oh, that's great, Elena.
Props to you all.
But
it's really nice.
Elena, I'm in actually your club, also baby at 40, and also only having birthed one. And and I get a lot of that. And it is an enormous shift, right? Like at some point, somebody pointed out to me that a child is essentially, they used a terrible word, parasite, right? You're actually like literally feeding them from your body. And it's actually, there's some truth to that, right? Like you are becoming a host to something, and it's a complete change of body, of mentality, of way of being in the world, and the most beautiful ride ever that I had ever been on. And it sounds like you're also really enjoying that. All right, Elena, can we sing it with you again?
Sure. Yes.
And we can't wait to have you back, hopefully in March, with the Women's History.
I'm sure we can make that happen. Thank you again so much for having me. Again, my name is Elena La Fulana. I'm based here in DC, and I hope to see you again next time. Don't lose hope. Don't lose faith. This one's called Pueblo Migrante. Sing with me again. Yo soy del pueblo migrante, gente luchadora, comunidad triunfante. Yo te protejo y tú me ayudas a mí. Aquí con tu radio Carecen DC. Here comes, this is the part. Empodérate, Infórmate. Juntos lucharemos, nos cuidaremos, mutuamente, pueblo migrante. Empodérate, empodérate, empodérate hoy. Infórmate, infórmate ya. Juntos lucharemos, nos cuidaremos mutuamente, pueblo migrante. Nos cuidaremos mutuamente, mi pueblo migrante. Yeah, check out the recording. It's got some marimba in it. I forgot to mention. Thank you all.
Thank you, Elena. Everybody, please, Elena La Fulana. Yeah, Elena, thank you. This was just what I needed today. The thoughtfulness in your song and the thoughtfulness of the discussion, the practical and the emotional, the empowering and the recognition of where we're all hurting. So again, I'm so grateful to you for being here today and can't wait to sing with you again soon. Let's all thank Elena one more time. Sending beautiful thoughts to little Ophelia and to your guy, and we can't wait to hopefully meet Ophelia at some point. Everybody, please help me wave Elena out of the room so she can go be a mama. Thanks again, Elena.
Thank you all.
See you soon. All of Elena's links are in the chat, so please go ahead and follow her links. Check out all the work she's doing out there, and we did talk about having her back in March, so hope to see her again for Women's History Month in March. This month right now is, of course, Black History Month and the month in which we have Valentine's Day. So we are singing all month long about things like justice and love, and this week specifically, justice and love all week long. So thanks again to everybody out there on the live stream, folks out there on YouTube, folks on there on Facebook. Thank you so much for joining us. We're really glad you're here. Please pass the daily Antidote of Song link along to your friends, your family, your colleagues, your community. Stick it in an email to whatever groups you belong to, and let folks know that it's free to come in here and sit in this space and sing and think with us. And we love when new people find us. We love when people stick with us. And we hope that all of you will continue to do the same. Sydney, thank you so much for being here, coming in from San Francisco. Trish, thank you so much for being here from Victoria. Pauline and William, there's 100-year-old William. Everybody wave to William in Newcastle. Thank you, William. Bye-bye. We're glad you're here. And Linda on Orcas Island. Thank you. Arlene in California. Great to see you today. Cricket in Maryland. Thank you. Athena in Brooklyn. Thank you again for reminding me that today is day 1,767 consecutive days of singing here in this daily Antidote of Song room. Thanks to, of course, to all of you. Thanks, of course, also to Carpe Diem Arts for helping to keep this program going day after 1,767 days. Susan in Cincinnati, Ohio, thank you so much. Ruth in Birmingham, UK, thank you so much. Oops, I can't see Sarah in Santa Cruz. Nice to see you. Thanks for being here. Busy Graham, Carpe Diem Arts, thanks for singing with us today. And I saw Stu in the background. Caroline in DC, thank you so much for being there and doing what you can do in the DC area. Anne in Nashville, Tennessee, Hoda in British Columbia, Sue in Seattle, Sarah in Texas, Marion in Brighton, UK, Ellie coming in from the UK, Kathleen in Albuquerque, New Mexico, Karen in Iowa, Adele, oops, that's Delhi coming in from Maryland, Bob in Albany, Kathy in Colorado, Julie coming in from Ontario, Canada, Jamie in Victoria, British Columbia, and let's see, I think I said Glenn and Cliff in Vermont. Thank you so much for being with us today. Fred coming in from Silver Spring, Maryland. Thank you. Storm in Massachusetts. Clive and Birmingham, UK. Anne coming in from Silver Spring, Maryland. Laris in the UK, who made it home. Nice to see you, Laris. Aloysius in Massachusetts, still driving along. Ariana, thanks so much for running tech for us today out of Los Angeles. Louise coming in from Devon, UK. Thank you, Louise, for being here. Bob, Mabel, and the Bears, thank you so much for being here and for bearing along with us. Jenny in Suffolk, UK, Elizabeth in California, nice to see your smile. Linda, thanks for being with us today. Curly Tops in Vermont, Carolyn, Connecticut, Nancy in Washington State, and Shruti coming in from India just to sing along with us, even though it's 10:30 at night or 11 where she is. Thank you so much, everybody. We can't wait to see you all tomorrow right here on the Daily Antidote of Song. You know, we'll be here with more justice and love and more great discussion. to help hold us all together.